healthy but doesn't matter if we don't have no goddamn planet. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today we're going to talk about health and how to stay healthy, healthy habits that you need to adopt right now, and healthy things and routines that I've been doing for quite some time that I really recommend to everyone. So let's go, yo! I'm super lame and that's okay. I've come to terms with it. It's fine. So when we're talking about health, it's kind of important to establish what kind of metric we use to describe health, what constitutes health, because what some people might regard as healthy, others may not. Of course, health has something to do with how your body feels, also kind of with how your body looks, but mostly regarding how your body feels and how it's optimally functioning. But to me, health has also something to do with how sustainable your diet is and how sustainable your food habits are. Because I'm talking about health, I'm not only talking about healthy habits for your body that will make you look sleek and nice and on fleek, but I'm also talking about sustainable efforts that you can incorporate into your healthy routines that will only make everything better. One thing that I do that has made me become healthier physically and healthier environmentally is storing my leftovers correctly. For instance, if I want to save a salad, I will separate like the wetter ingredients or like the more mushy ingredients from the fresher or more crispy or like crunchy ingredients in order for them not to become like all soaked up together. So for instance, I will remove avocado, cucumber, tomatoes from my lettuce because, and we all know this, there's absolutely nothing worse than having a cucumber soak your greens overnight. It makes it so unappetizing and it makes me not want to eat it again. So separating components of a salad will make you want to eat it the next day as well. If my salad is soaked or like not the way it was when I first prepared it, chances are I'm going to make something else. Chances are that's going to be significantly more unhealthy. So not only will I be not wasting food, I will also be doing my body a huge favor by actually eating the healthy thing instead. And in context of storing your leftovers correctly, what I do to store them without plastic is either I store them in a bowl with a plate on top, I store them with some wax paper on top, or I store them with a cotton cover on top. No need for plastic containers. I have completely stopped using stuff like aluminum foil or plastic cling wrap. I have also generally stopped using plastic containers in general because they are linked to tons of health problems as well. Not only for the environment, but also physically for your body. A lot of food containers leak chemicals into your food when it's sitting out in sunlight or when it's exposed to heat, like in a microwave or in an oven. Especially fast food containers contain something called polyvinyl chloride, which is directly linked to type 2 diabetes, to obesity, to decreased quality of semen, to premature puberty, a lot of hormone disruptive effects. And when you expose these products to heat, the chemicals will leak into your food. A lot of these products has also been linked directly to depression and to kidney failure as well. You've probably heard of BPA as well, because a lot of products right now claim to be BPA free, but you can still find it in plastic containers and in tins. BPA is directly linked to cancer and to infertility. It directly interferes with testosterone specifically. And a study I read last year found that an average child in the US and in the UK has over 80 different types of chemicals in their body as an effect of plastic and plastic use and plastic containers for food storage specifically. So it's not healthy. So yeah, no plastic. Another healthy habit that I have adopted is optimizing my greens. For instance, I have replaced iceberg lettuce and romaine lettuce with spinach and kale instead because they are much more beneficial and much more nutrient dense. Nutritionally dense? For instance, spinach contains way more vitamin A, calcium, omega-3 and magnesium than traditional iceberg lettuce or romaine lettuce, and it's an easy switch in a lot of dishes as well. Generally looking for darker greens in favor of lighter greens is a really good idea, and I found that I can get locally grown kale right in my backyard. So it also saves a lot of transportation and thereby a lot of impact and resources by switching from an imported product to a product I literally can grow myself. So this thing is important, y'all, and I don't really care whether or not you eat meat. I personally don't, because of all the reasons. I became vegan 1.5 years ago and I can only recommend it. But even if you do still eat some animal products, I so recommend you ditching dairy completely. Okay, so real quick, I actually do care whether or not you eat meat. What I meant was I don't care whether or not you eat meat, you need to ditch dairy anyway. Yes, I do care very much, thank you. Because there's absolutely no beneficial values in dairy that you cannot find in the plant-based kingdom. Let me tell you right now. I replaced my cow's milk with specifically oat milk because I can make it myself. I've also dabbled with cashew milk, but cashews are kind of a conflict food, so I try to avoid having that as much as possible, and oat milk is so easy to make. I make my own oat milk by letting oats sit in water overnight and blending it all together. Then I strain the milk from the pulp and I can use the pulp in baking. So actually I have 2 products because I ditched 1 product. That's pretty neat. Milk and other dairy products are also the top source of saturated fats in the American diet, and it contributes to heart disease, type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's disease as well. Studies have also linked dairy directly to the increased risk of breast cancer and prostate cancers. Dairy also have a lot of hormones in it, all of which affect the human body as well. If you're trying to be healthier, if you're trying to eat healthy, lose weight, become more fit, become stronger, generally avoiding dairy is a really good idea, and we can see more and more athletes doing it and talking about it as well, because it is the single easiest way of becoming healthier. From a sustainability point of perspective, it's also an insanely good idea to ditch dairy. There are 270 million dairy cows in the world, all of which require land, they require food, they require water, they emit methane, which is significantly more damaging to the planet than CO2. The dairy industry is also one of the largest contributors to deforestation and the mass extinction of wildlife. So yeah, ditch dairy. I just want to remind you that I have tons of delicious recipes both on this channel but also in my ebook that you can find in the link down below. I have a lot of alternatives to dairy that are absolutely delicious, including a vegan carbonara dish. So go and check that out if you're curious, because I do definitely recommend. So just out. Some of these tips might seem a little bit arbitrary, but I always find that actually saying it out loud, actually knowing what it is you're doing and why you're doing it and the results of you doing it is so super helpful. So even though it seems really arbitrary for me to say, hey, ditch dairy, dairy not good, then it's still really beneficial. And also possibly somewhere out there, there's people that need to hear this. And I hope you will be open-minded and just try it. When I started refusing dairy and when I started trying to eat more green, I had an idea that I was absolutely not going to be able to do it full time, or absolutely not going to be able to completely ditch something that I actually loved because the taste is good. But people evolve, and I sort of try to let go of it a little bit and not being too stressed out about whether or not I would be missing it, because turns out I found other delicious foods as well, so I didn't really need it in the end. The last thing is also something that's quite arbitrary, but still something I really think that needs to be said, and that is invest in whole foods rather than food products. The difference between whole foods and food products is very significant, but a lot of people don't always necessarily realize it. Whole foods are food that has either been processed very little or not at all, preferably not at all, and food products have been processed quite a lot. Another important aspect of food products is that they do not necessarily have that great of a nutritional value, so it's not something that you can eat exclusively to sustain yourself. It's something that you need to add other stuff to, or like snacks and stuff. It's estimated that over 75% of all food that's consumed by humans today is food products rather than whole foods, which is a significant part of our general health problem. So a good thing to do is focus on the foods that your body actually needs and not listen to cravings, because cravings are irrational and cravings are fats and sugars and salt. And all those things are extremely important in a diet, but not in the way they are delivered to you in food products. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense just a little bit. Stuff like sodas, snacks, candy bars, sweets, chips, condiments, cakes, a lot of breads as well. A lot of these products contain sugar and palm oil, which is made using child labor and illegal deforestation. So a good thing to do is also cut out a lot of these products. If you want to get a good overview of how many food products you daily consume, then try and look in your pantry, try look in your fridge, look in your freezer, and find out how many products are generally considered whole foods and how many products are considered food products. The amount of food products should be significantly smaller than the amount of whole foods, and if it's not, it's something that you could work on. What I did was I removed all my food products from my fridge and from my cabinets on my pantry to see how great an amount they actually constituted. And generally I'm trying every day to make that amount significantly smaller and to decrease the amount of products that I consume that are not whole foods. It's a really easy way of avoiding a lot of calories, a lot of saturated fats, a lot of sugars and salts that you don't really necessarily need. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any tips or something that you do health-wise that has really worked for you, let me know down below. I hope that you enjoyed or could use this video. I hope it was informative somehow, or at least like a starting point for a debate or discussion. I hope that it was sort of. I have only one thing to say at the end of this video, and that's go vegan. It's definitely the best thing you can do for your body and for the environment. That's just how it is. Or at least, I mean, try plant-based. Just cool. See you guys in the next video. Bye! Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero-waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!